So, welcome. We are letting people in. So excited to have you here for this 2-day workshop that is going to be all about how to sell and scale using virtual events. So, I'm so sorry for all the tech issues that we have had during the day. I know people have struggled downloading the workbook, people have struggled to register, and the provider that we have that we host everything on has been down on and off for almost the entire afternoon my time. So that is the tech issues. I'm so sorry for that. This has been just one of those days. So I'm so excited to kind of be here with you live so we can kind of relieve from that and move into this instead and be here together. So welcome. And my first question to you, besides where are you watching from, because I would love to know, is that I want to ask you who here who wants to master the art of speaking and selling, because that is what this entire workshop is going to be about. My promise to you is that by the end of these 2 days, you are going to have the big pieces in place on how to plan and how to fill and how to sell through a live virtual events. And I have helped hundreds of clients and tens of thousands of people, of service providers, sell their offers with virtual events, selling their offers in the capacity one to many. At the same time, saving time, growing the list, growing the audience, and claiming their category of one online. Who here wants that? Yeah. So we have, oh, we have Jamaica in the house. Hi, amazing. Trinidad, US. We have France. We have Italy. We have Sweden. Amazing. Switzerland. So excited to have you all here. Yeah, I know you couldn't. I'm going to share the link to the workbook and I hope it's going to work. So, yeah. So, who here wants to close clients one too many? Who is ready to make more money and close more clients without spending more time and kind of chained to the computer, because sometimes that might feel like that. And for you who don't know me, my name is Angela. I'm a virtual event sales expert, and I have done over 380 live virtual events. In 2017, I discovered events as a way to build trust very fast, to have a human connection with my audience, and to close clients in bulk. And I was still a truck driver when I made $100,000 in sales within 4 months with a 5-day challenge and a webinar combination. Going to share my story in a bit. And it was in 2019 when I started to help others do events. And 2020, I quit driving and I closed my fitness business. And from then, this is what I have been doing: helping people sell their offers in the capacity one to many with virtual events. And what I have discovered is that the way we sell with virtual events must match our dream clients' reality. So the old way of doing things just doesn't cut it anymore. I'm just gonna say that the ones who listen, understand, and operate in their dream clients' reality are the ones that is going to win. It's as simple as that, okay? And this is a 2-day workshop. So we're live tomorrow, same time, same Zoom and same link. Each day is going to be about 90 minutes. Okay, we have a workbook, so I'm going to share that link. And let's see. Yeah, so I hope it's going to work. Thank you, Kim. Kim says the link is working. Great. Download the workbook, because in that workbook, we are building out your event together. And that is going to be of huge value to you after these 2 days. Okay. So I am going to send a recording. Yes. So we have this tech issue now, so I can't say when I send out the recording. Might take some hours after this event has been live, but I am gonna upload it on our platform as soon as I can, and I'm gonna upload it on YouTube. But I need to be able to send the emails, and that is, of course, might be an issue. Yes, so I'm gonna send out the recording. The recordings are up until Sunday midnight. And then I remove the recordings because I believe in taking action. Okay. And if you want different, things need to change and we need to commit and do something different. But before we dive in, we are going to see what you need to kind of grow and scale. I almost said 2025, but we are at the end of 2025. We have like 2 months left, 2.5-ish month left. But the market have shifted, right? We can all feel it. And it's going to continue into 2026. So what we do today and how we move into 2026 is what we are going to talk about. Okay. And things have changed. You can feel it. I can feel it, right? This year has been massive change. And it doesn't look the same as it did when I kind of started out doing events. And when I started out back in 2017, right, things were different. And then we entered 2020 and things changed. And then the world opened up in 2022. People were sick and tired of being on Zoom. Things changed. And now we have the change of the accessibility of information online, the overwhelm of content that is like how to content at our fingertips. We can just type and ask, and we have the information there. Okay. And back then, what I noticed when I'm going to share my story is that if I compare it to now, we back then in 2017, when I started, had a way more relationship driven market. And what happened then was that we moved into a more marketing driven market. Who remembers 2021? How easy it was, right? You just did a post in a Facebook group, boom, 50 signups, right? It was so easy. You just invited more people. Either you posted in more places or you run ads. And that is how you converted higher and more people. It was marketing driven. Okay. Now with the accessibility information and all the impersonal things, we have now gone back to a more relationship driven market. Okay. So I started out in health and wellness. I was a truck driver. I was a truck driver for 15 years. I was living in the truck from Sunday to Friday. But I was dreaming about another lifestyle because I wanted to lay on the beach. I wanted to drink pina colada. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to work from wherever, whenever, and have money in the bank. Okay. And in the weekends, I worked as a personal trainer in a local gym. So it was kind of natural for me to launch a fitness business online. The problem was that I didn't know what I was doing. So I was sold a dream, a wish, an idea of these evergreen sales by people that didn't do evergreen sales to close those sales. I'm just very honest with that. And what I did was that I built an app. I had about 25 programs in my app. I had quizzes and I run ads. So I run ads to quizzes, and depending on what they answered, they were invited to one of my offers. And it costed me more money than I was making. And I did all this without having any idea of the online space. I didn't even know what a dream client was, or I didn't know anything about niching down. Okay. And it was exhausting. And that dream about this other lifestyle was kind of nowhere to be found. Okay. Yeah. So then I came across a 5-day challenge and I thought, wow, can it really be this easy? Right. Well, I launched my 5-day challenge and I failed because what I didn't understand is that even if it looks, it's just information thrown together. It's absolutely not even back then. It's very strategically built. So I was kind of in the moment of enough is enough. So I hired a coach. It was my first real coach. He was an expert in webinars and 5-day challenges. And I relaunched. And that is what took the business to $100,000. And everything shifted. And what I realized was that all the tech, all the impersonal stuff that I had built over there was kind of a wall between me and my audience. So I removed all that and I went all in with showing up for my audience. And I did those events from the truck cabin. I sometimes looked like crap, but it didn't matter because they bought into my energy. They could feel how passionate I was. They could hear my conviction. Okay. And I didn't have the kind of a laptop style in the track, so I used my phone on these what do you call them, tripods, right? And that is what people bought into. That is what I realized, that this is not what I want over here, the wall. So I threw that all out, and I only did virtual events. I did one 5-day challenge, one webinar. I didn't close any sales in between. Not that I didn't want to, but I didn't know how to back then, right? And then in 2019, I started to help others. When I closed my fitness business in 2020, from then, this is all I have been doing. I have done it all. I have seen it all. Okay. I've done over 380 live events. I have done all the trial and error, so you don't need to. Okay. And I'm telling you that because I want you to understand where my conviction come from, why I so strongly believe that running virtual events are so superior. It's not only superior way of scaling, but also to build trust. And the trust gap in today's market, bigger than ever, right? Huge. Kind of consumers, way more skeptical. They're overwhelmed with all the massive amount of information they already have out there. Okay, they're more kind of thinking twice before they do investment, a little more cautious when they do investment, right? And AI have flooded the market with all this content that is so overwhelming because it's so massive, but there is no real connection with it, right? So people are starting to craving real. Buyers are also way smarter. They are more educated. They have bought the programs that didn't deliver. They have seen behind the curtains, right? Now they don't just buy the result anymore. They buy into you. They buy into your energy. They buy into your conviction. They buy into your beliefs. They borrow belief from you. They trust you to guide them. They don't buy the result anymore only. They buy it from you because they trust you. And even if AI is an amazing tool, we use it, you should use it. Use it, right? It's also important to understand how it has shifted the market. And even if AI is an amazing tool, there is no entry level. It has created no entry level. It started in 2020 when anyone with a phone could put up a bio, claim to be an expert, and sell and do exactly what you do. But what it also have happened is that those people can now also sound like experts thanks to AI. And that is why the skepticism is so high. Before this workshop, I kind of dig myself into a hole of looking into service and things like that that was done kind of recent, how people feel about content today that is pushed out there. And there was a 2025 survey that found that about 76% of people say it's very or extremely important to know whether something was made with AI. And I was thinking about this because they launched this new video tool. Amazing. I mean, it's just mind-blowing how good it is, right? And the research also shows that when content then is disclosed as AI generated, even identical content, the AI kind of was judged more harshly. People rate it lower in emotional connection and credibility, even if it was exactly the same. And the problem is that 70% of people wasn't sure if they could actually trust what they see. And there is nothing wrong with using AI. Absolutely not. Amazing tools, so many things. But we have to remember that even if we don't feel that it has shifted the way we do things or the way we trust things, we can kind of say, yeah, I don't care. It looks amazing, right? You are not the person you are selling to. You need to look into how has this thing that have happened throughout the years, now the later 4 or 5 year ish, how have that affected my dream client's reality? That is what you are selling into, right? You're selling into your dream client's reality. That is where you should operate, not in your reality, but in their reality. So what we have kind of usually say that we have moved into throughout this years is a trust recession. The buying cycle is stretched, right? Longer than ever. Skepticism has increased. The bar for conversions is higher. So I usually say that those who are going to win is those who listen and understand how to operate inside of the dream client's reality. Okay? And you all here, you're amazing at what you do. I know that because I attract people that are amazing at what they do. So I know that you're amazing service providers. You deliver incredible, outstanding results for your clients. I know that. But I'm here to tell you that that is just doesn't, it's not enough anymore. Because right now, being a great service provider doesn't automatically make you successful, right? Because you also need to be a great business person. Because if you're not a great business person, if you don't understand how to sell to this reality, you get no clients. And when you get no clients, you have no one to get those amazing results for, have you? To create transformation, you first have to get the clients. And if you don't have a simple and repeatable way of actually doing that, you can be the best in your field. No one is going to know it. And even with all this information that we actually have, we can still see entrepreneurs, service providers spend 30, 40 hours sometimes, or maybe not 40, but 20, 30 hours a week on tactics that moves them either further away from speaking to people. So they are over here. At the same time, you have an entire audience that is over here that is sick and tired of this and just say, I just want to speak to someone. And they are sitting there waiting for someone to speak to them. We have a huge gap here. And your virtual event is going to close this gap because it's going to put you right in the room with your audience. It's going to rebuild trust faster than anything else on the market today. And that is why we're here today. We're here to bridge this gap between being a great service provider, giving outstanding result, and building a business that brings in clients consistently. So what do you need to actually accomplish that? You need actually three things. You need new people see you. You need to get new people in. If we don't get new people in, somewhere along the way, we're going to stop grow because we run out of people to sell to. This is just going to happen. It happens to a lot of us, okay? So you need a way to put new people in. And then you need a way to build trust very quickly with those people. We're not building trust next autumn. We're doing it now very quickly. So you need to do it quickly. You don't have month after month after month. We need to do it now. If you want to create bigger impact, you need to do this now. Then we need a simple and repeatable way to turn that trust into conversions, clients. This is the baseline of a business. If we want to go talk a little more strategically, lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversions, right? Virtual events do all these three things at once. It attracts new people, it builds trust with those people, and then it converts those people because you're going to hand out an invitation. That is how we save time. So we remove a lot of other things that we do with a virtual event. Okay? You have no complex funnels. You have no shiny hacks. No need for big budgets or teams. Just one powerful strategy that builds connection and sell in the capacity one to many. And a well-crafted event is going to help you. You have this in the workbook, by the way. Yes. So it's going to help you build trust fast. It's going to shorten the buying cycle. It's going to replace like 80% of what you spend your time on today. It's going to position you as the authority the category of one, and it's going to let you scale with simplicity, because there is no limit of how many people you can have in front of you, is there? How many of you saw, what his name, Alex Hamosi? I maybe butcher his name, I'm so sorry. But how many people did he have in his virtual event, right? The only thing that makes you hit a limit is the technology. I would say if you use Zoom, there's going to be a limit depending on how many people you can have in the room. That is where the limit, that is where the cap is going to be. You can have 5 people, you can have 5,000 people. Okay. What it also does is that it tap into the 5 psychological buying triggers that we have today. Okay. So I'm going to break them down really quickly so you can write them down. The first psychological buying trigger is, of course, social proof. Okay. And you are the social proof. If you don't have any clients, you are going to be the social proof. You're going to show up live, share your story, your result, your conviction, your beliefs. And of course, when you have clients, you're going to share their stories and all those kind of things. And that builds trust really quickly. Social proof. The second thing is scarcity. I'm not talking about fake scarcity, whatever that is going on. I'm talking about that a virtual event is an invitation with a deadline, because it's going to have an end date. Either you close the cart, some people do cohorts, so they close down the cart, or they take out their bonuses, whatever. People need that. They need that scarcity that now it goes away, right? So that is the second thing. The third thing is reciprocity. You are going to lead with value first, okay? People are going to leave your event saying that this was more valuable than the last thing I bought, I paid for. That is what's going to give you back. So that is the third thing. The fourth thing is, of course, authority. Because when you stand up and speak, you are the authority. You are leading the room, not somebody else. You are the one that is leading in the front. On the camera or the stage, as we have the question about live or physical events, yes, you can take whatever I talk about today. There is no difference. You can take that to a live stage. Same thing, okay? And that is authority building, okay? And then the last thing is, of course, emotional connection, right? And this is the most powerful one. People don't just listen to your words. They feel your energy. They connect heart to heart with your conviction, your beliefs, right? The way you show up. And that is what moves them to take action together with you, right? And that is why events are so powerful, because they hit or dip into each and one of these buying triggers as well. And when you show up live and lead from that space, you're going to move people. You build trust quickly and you close clients. That is why virtual events will be your most valuable asset end of 2025, moving into 2026. And just a side note from everything above, a virtual event is also amazing to run evergreen, like run it evergreen, recorded, so it makes money while you sleep. Webinars specifically are amazing to run evergreen, right? And you can also take the presentation, like we have the question in the chat, to a physical stage. We have Christine, for example, is one of our clients. She took her presentation to a physical stage. We have Josephine that is on vacation. That is why she's not here. She took her presentation into somebody else's mastermind. Just think about what that alone could do for your business, if you could do that, right? And that is what I want for you, not just to see what is possible, but to decide what's next for you. Because nothing changes until you kind of set the intention behind it, right? So before we kind of move on, I want us to I want you to be clear with your goal. What do you want to create? Who do you want to help? And what do you want for the rest of the year and 2026 actually look like? Okay? Because what you do now is going to set the tone and the result for next year. We are at the end of the year. Whatever you do now is going to set the tone and the result for next year. And the truth is, you wouldn't be here if you didn't already want more. That is how you say it, right? You didn't join this workshop just to learn. You joined it because you want to grow and you are ready to do it. Okay? So I want you to write down why is the biggest reasons that you are here. Is it because you want to close clients in a more simple way? Close more clients, get more clients? Do you want to grow your audience? The right audience, not just anybody, right? Do you want to build momentum in your business, in your sales system? Do you want to create a bigger impact, right? Do you want to save time for family, for friends, travel? Or is it all of them? It might be all of it, right? I want it all. And I want you to write down in your workbook what kind of how that goal is going to look like for the rest of the year and also 2026, either as amount of clients or revenue or both. It doesn't matter. The goal is yours. You are going to claim it. You are going to own it. It's yours. And it doesn't matter if you choose the money or the clients, because the more clients you help, the more money you make. The more money you make is going to support your lifestyle, however you want that to look like. You are going to become a better person. You're going to be more happy, and you are going to change the lives of people around you. So the more clients you get, the more money you earn. The more money you earn, the more clients you help. And when you help one person and that person's lives become better, doesn't matter what you help them with. It can be their life, it can be the relationship, it can be the business, doesn't matter. When they are happy, they affect other people around them. And those people become more happy and they affect other people around them, which means in the domino effect of that, you make the world a better place. So the more clients you get, the more money you make. The more money you make, the more clients' lives you help. And the domino effect of that, turning the world to a better place because of you. So don't hold back. Don't hold back. Claim that money. Claim those clients. That is how we create momentum and impact. So commit, and then you commit to that. And when I say being willing to commit to that, is being willing to commit means that you're going to do the things you said that you were going to do long after the excitement you felt when you said it, all gone. Okay? I'm going to say it again. You're going to write this down. Being willing to commit means doing the things you said that you were going to do long after the excitement you felt when you said it is all gone. Okay? So in the workbook, I want you to write down this sentence. Am I willing to commit to blank space? Hit the goal I just wrote down. Am I willing to commit to XYZ to hit the goal I just wrote down? And then you're going to replace that blank space with some things. And I'm going to share 5, and it can be more. So you need to ask yourself, am I willing to commit to learn and build mastery to hit that goal? Am I willing to show up consistent to hit that goal? Am I willing to invest time, my own time, to hit that goal? Am I willing to invest finances to hit that goal? Am I willing to trust the process? Am I willing to run the reps? That is a tough one, right? Am I willing to change to hit that goal? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. It's that simple. And there should be no no's here. It should be all yeses. And if you have answered these questions with yeses, I know that you're in the right place. And I know that you are committed and you are not going to go out on Monday and do the same shit that didn't work before. Okay? You're going to change. You're going to take what you learn here and you're going to bring it into action. That is why you have the workbook. So when you leave, you actually implement of what I'm teaching, what I'm sharing with you today. Okay? And you are here because you are ready for this. And that starts now, right? The commitment starts in this room. And you're going to set your intentions for this workshop, not next week, now. Okay. So when we now have made that commitment, we are moving into the more strategic part of running virtual events. Okay. So to understand how a virtual event actually, oh, thank you so much. Oh, you're so nice. Yeah, and this, I think we need to talk about this more because it's a tough one to stay committed, right? And that is why we need accountability, we need support, we need to have someone there with us, right? And that is how we can kind of stay committed because sometimes it's easier said than done. I agree. Okay, I agree. Exactly. So to understand how this really works, so you more understand the content that I'm going to go through so you can kind of put it in the pieces. I want to just share what an event cycle, because this is a word that I use a lot. You're going to run your event in cycles. What does that even mean? We are not going to create 10 events. You're going to create one event and you're going to run the reps of it. Okay? What happens when you run the reps of stuff? You master it. Okay. That is what's going to happen. Every time you run it, it's going to become a little bit better. You're going to show up with better energy. You're going to nail your message even more. You're going to listen and operate even better in the dream client's reality because you have a two-way communication. You're going to be able to present your content with high energy, with beliefs, and with conviction. You're going to feel amazing when you invite them, when you do that transitioning into inviting people. So we are building one signature event that you runs in cycle. So what is a cycle? So a cycle have different parts. It starts before the event, and we call that the launch runway. It's when we do lead generation. We're going to talk about that a bit more. That is the first part. Then you move into the second part, which is the launch week. So the launch week is going to be the week you host your event live. And then you open the cart into an invitation and the sales process start. And then you close down because it's an invitation with a deadline. And then you can maybe do some following up, but you then reset the cycle by looking into numbers and things like that exactly and identify segments to improve. And then you have some time between where you grow your audience. I told you, you need to consistently grow your audience. Otherwise, you run out of people to invite. The pool of people you invite is going to dry up. So you need to have the time between to grow an audience. And then you move into the same cycle. Runway, launch week, sales process, follow up and reset, grow an audience. Runway, launch week, sales process, follow up. It's almost like slow down to speed up. Okay. And depending on the length of that event and the audience engagement, this can be longer and shorter. Absolutely. Okay. So, yeah, I would say when you start out, if this is your first event, give you some time to get the invitations out. I'd give you some time to be able to do lead generation. But when you kind of get the hang of it and you have done a couple of some cycles, you can shorten it. So it usually ends up being anything between maybe 3 to 5 weeks. But you can see this big launches where people open cart only once per year. Their cycle is running over maybe 2 months. Okay. So you're going to run one event in cycles. And this, we call it the signature event. And you're going to serve your audience. You're going to lead people through content that creates a breakthrough, right? And then you're going to hand out an invitation. So you're going to serve your audience. At the same time, you're going to solve a problem for them. And then you hand out an invitation. So those are the main parts. You serve your audience, you solve a problem, and then you hand out an invitation. Okay? That is an event cycle. So we are going to look into the first part of the event cycle that we call the event runway. And here is a huge change that have happened in the last years because this was easy. 2021, we just did lead generation, nothing else. Lead generation, a couple of reminders, people showed up, and then nothing more. Okay, and then we invite them to purchase, they bought, and then we did it all over again. We just invited more people. Okay, now we have massive amount of content on the market, information, and the noise is huge. The trust gap is bigger. Okay, so the runway looks different now than it did before. So in the runway, we have a way of strategically boost the visibility before we do invitations, because we want people to see the invitations. Okay, but if we don't have so much eyes on our content, no one is going to see it. So what we do is that we have a strategic way of go out and boost our visibility before we get into inviting people. And then we move into part 2, lead generation. We start inviting people to our event. People start signing up. But then we want to build the like, know, and trust even before the event goes live. So we need to nurture them. Start having conversations with those people even before the event is live. And that is more than a couple of emails, okay? So you have these 3 parts in the runway, so write these down: visibility, lead generation, and nurturing, okay? Visibility is show up consistent, connect with new people, collaborate with people, come across new people, ask for nothing, okay? Sorry. And then we have the lead generation, hand out invitations daily with frequency and discipline. We're going to come back to that. Nurture, build trust before the event even goes live. It can be emails, it can be DMs, it can be pre-event touch points of any kind. Okay. So we have a question in the chat. How long is this? So the runway can be anything between 14 days, 10 days to 4 weeks, depending on how long your event is. And if you join the Launch Lab, so everyone here is going to get invited to the Launch Lab, and you who join, and I will tell more about it later. We will help you decide how long your runway is going to be, how it's going to look like, and what you're going to do in the runway. How you're going to boost your visibility, what are you going to do for how many days, what strategies are you going to use, how you're going to post, what content, etc. We help you with that, yes. Okay. And of course, the runway is where you hand out your landing page, for an example. And of course, you need to test that first. We can see a lot of broken links where the links goes nowhere, or we sign up and we get no emails and things like that. So you want to kind of double check everything, of course. And then one thing that I want to mention, the event runway runs all the way until your event starts. Okay, you need to hand out invitations the same day of your event. Most people, I would say a massive amount of people are going to sign up the same day. Not that you can just post the same day about it, but they need to see it multiple times because they see so many things. The information that is out there is massive. So you need to do consistent and frequent invitations all the way up until you go live. Don't forget that. A lot of people don't post about their events the same day because they think, who is going to sign up the same day? Most of them, I would say. Okay. So that is the runway. So how do we then fill the event with the right people? Okay. Because yeah, we can fill an event with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, right? But it's not the size of the audience that matters more than the depth of that message and how well that resonates with the right people. That's what's going to make your event actually convert. It's when the message is so clear that the people who need and want what you have to offer is right in the room with you. And that is a baseline where it all starts, is clarity in your messaging. Okay, and that might not happen the first. Running the reps again, this is how we get clarity, right? In the beginning, we are maybe not super clear. The more you run the reps, the more you listen, the more words they say, You go out and use that in the way that they describe it, in the way that they use it. How do they describe the problem that they have, the struggles, the frustrations, fears? How do they actually say? That is what you want to talk about. That is how you catch their attention. You don't catch their attention with your language. You catch their attention with their language, the way that they describe things. Okay? And the more you do this, the more clear the more clear you are going to be, okay, in your message. So that is the first thing, clarity in your messaging. The second thing is that it must be an alignment between the audience that are here, that you invite, and your offer. Because your event is going to bridge these two. Because you're going to lead people over into your offer, right? We can't have an entire audience with cat people and then we sell a dog offer, because it's not going to be an alignment, and that is not going to be able to create the bridge between these two. And an event is going to be a bridge where you lead them through the content into this side to take the next step. So there needs to be an alignment. So when you have the clarity of the messaging, you put your, and the way that they describe these things, you put your event or your offer here and you ask yourself, is this aligned? Otherwise, it's going to be a hard sell. That's the second thing. Because the third thing is that what I kind of share a little bit is that your event is going to take them from where they are to where they want to go. Okay? Exactly. You're going to lead them into that. That is why we talk about content that leads people into making a decision. So you're going to lead them and you're going to provide inside of the event, you're going to share what it is that they want. And inside your offer, you're going to give them what they need to get what they want. Okay? And then when you have this, you need to show up with clarity, consistency, and frequency. Not only in how you show up and the frequency of you showing up online, but also in your messaging. You need to be consistent and frequent. And you're going to do that tomorrow. So when we talk about content tomorrow, you're going to pick your topic. You're going to own that is yours. You're going to claim it on the market. You're going to become the expert of that topic. Okay. And then of course you're going to say to me, yeah, but doesn't lead generation strategies important? Yes, we need to do invitations. That is lead generation. Okay, absolutely. And I'm going to give everyone here a guide with 50 ways of fill your event. You shouldn't use 50. Pick 3 or 4 maybe, because it's going to be exhausting. So I'm going to give everyone that. But I'm going to tell you here, there is hundreds of strategies here. You have them because out there, you can just go out and find them. Over here in this one, you have millions of people and it costs you absolutely nothing to connect and engage with your target market. So over here, we have hundreds of strategies. Over here, we have millions of people and still people struggle. Why? Why do we struggle? It's the biggest thing when people join and I ask them, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to event? Getting signups. So it's because we have the wrong mindset around lead generation. And before you say, oh, that sounds fluffy, let me tell you this. When you do lead generation, you are actually of a huge gift to your market. You're serving the market on the higher level because you are inviting people to a place and a space of solutions. And that is a gift. What we do as service provider is a gift to our market. Okay? And I know there is a lot of people, when I talk about that, you need to go out and invite people. They say, yeah, but I don't want to feel spammy. I don't want to feel sleazy. I don't want people to get annoyed by I'm sharing what I'm doing. How is that a service? How is that a service, right? You need to be loud and you need to be proud about the way that you help people. So, and you need to want to solve this problem on the market so much that you don't stand in your own way, because then you make it all about you and not about them. Okay? It's like having a party, but you don't invite any guests. Well, you can't get upset when nobody showed up. It's as simple as that. So your energy of handing out, using the strategies to hand out those invitations to the millions of people that is over here for free in your phone, that energy to do that needs to match the energy of the expectations you have what that virtual event is going to do for you. If you want to make 10, 15, 20,000 from that event, your energy, your diligence, your consistency, your frequency to hand out those invitations need to match. Okay? And we see often that it doesn't, because we stand in our own way. And when you do, you are kind of robbing all these amazing people you would have helped in the domino effect. So you need to shift your mindset and understand that a lead generation is handing out invitations to get a problem solved. You have the solution inside your event. It's your job to hand out that invitation. That is why the mindset behind lead generation and reframe what that actually is massive of huge importance when it comes to being successful doing lead generation. Okay? So that is how you get the right people to show up. You're clear in your messaging. You run the reps so you understand how your audience talk, and you can get more of the right people to show up. You don't stand in your own way, so you hand out during your runway, you hand out those invitations to the right people, so you get the right people in the room. Okay? And then how do we then get them to show up or watch the replays and engage? And there is a lot of strategic way of doing that. Absolutely, right? Sending reminders. It can be text reminders, email reminders. We can send DMs, connect with people, all those kind of things. And most people teach that. There's a lot of people out there that teach events, and they teach all those strategies, right? But I'm going to share two things with you that most people do not speak about when it comes to this. And the first one is picking the right event. And the reason why not so many people talk about it is that they sell or they help people build a specific event. But I'm a strong believer, my entire conviction lays in picking the right event for you, but also for your dream client, right? Let's say we need to make this simple. Let's say we work with full-time working single mom with small children. Would a 9-day live event be the right pick? Obviously no, right? She might watch one session. She's never going to see your invitation. That's what's going to happen. So a shorter event would be way more effective, so she could actually show up. On the other hand, let's say we work with athletes that wants to run the, I don't know, New York Marathon, if that is a thing. Would they like a slow moving, kind of slow moving retreat style? No, they want the boot camp. Give it to me 5 days in a row. Let's go, right? So I don't believe in picking an event that you don't want to do. I'm just going to say that, because the energy is going to suck in that event. You're going to first say, okay, what do I want to do? And then you ask yourself, is that something my audience would sign up for? That is why we teach different styles of events inside my offers, inside the launch lab. We do webinars, some do masterclasses, some do 90 minutes event, some do 2-3 hour workshops, some do 2-day, 3-day, 5-day, because they have different audiences and they want to do different things. Okay, so that is one thing that is going to get more people to both show up live, but also watch the replays. And you're going to have way more people watching the replays nowadays than we had before, and it's just natural, totally fine, okay? When you do these kind of things and you grow in your event, the energy is going to be so high that it's going to be really good recorded on a replay. Absolutely. Yes, it's going to feel almost live, because it was live. It wasn't something you recorded and then put up, right? It's live. The second thing that is going to help show up and engagement, running the reps. Not a lot of people talk about running the reps with that kind of comparison, because confidence and engagements comes from repetition. Your speaking is going to evolve. So inside the launch lab and inside when we talk about this, we do a lot of mindset work. And the reason for that is that a lot of emotions comes up when we do events, especially when we start selling, doing lead generation and those kind of things. We have what I call the bold speaker journey. There are 6 stages, but I'm going to share 4 of them really quickly, because when you do events for the very first time, you are going to be a little bit scared, right? And when you show up from a place of fear, the audience lean back a little bit. So it's not going to be like kind of skyrocket in conversions, because the audience is going to be like, oh, I don't know, here feels a little bit strange, right? And that is a normal where we all go through. Unfortunately, a lot of people give up here because they believe that it should convert at sky high the first time. But this is a natural stages to becoming a speaker that everyone goes through. What happens when we come out of that place of fear is that we speak from our heart. Amazing, because you should do that. You should speak with your fullest conviction, your dreams, your desires. It should just go right from your heart out. But when you do it in a very unstructured way, people are not going to be able to follow. They're not going to get it. So they are confused. So when you leave the scare phase and go into the speak from your heart phase, you're going to have a little bit of a confused audience. Right? And here is what most people actually give up. Because what they don't understand, that the only thing they need is structure. That is what I needed in my first virtual events. I needed structure. I needed someone to help me build out the structure. So I could speak from my heart in a very structured way. That is when the magic is going to happen. Unfortunately, most of people give up way before that. But what happens when you go through these stages? Your confidence skyrockets. You can show up with way better energy. You know your content. You master the content. You have a high energy when you do your invitation. You can lean into your audience instead of maybe looking at your notes like this, right? You can be here, present. You can kind of shoot out the energy. It's not so much what you do here. It's who you are when you do it. But that might not happen the first time. And the more you run the reps, the more you listen, the more communication you have, the more you're going to nail your messaging. And when you nail the messaging, that is when more people are going to watch your content. More people are going to sign up. More people are going to show up. More people are going to watch the replays because they just can't get enough. They just want more of your energy, more of your knowledge, because you're there to serve. And that is what's going to, and most people don't talk about that. So when they talk about getting people to engage and to show up, they talk about these strategic things, but they don't talk about picking the right event so people actually can show up or watch the replays, and then run the reps so people want to show up and watch the replays. Those 2 things I want you to take with you. And remember that there is a lot of moving parts in webinars and workshops, absolutely. But if you master this part, filling your event with the right people, everything else becomes 10 times easier. It's going to be easier to have engaged audience because they are a right fit. It's going to be easier to sell to them because they need and want what you have to offer. Everything is going to flow easier. Lead generation easier. Growing an audience easier. So when you nail this and be able to get the right people in the room, everything is going to shift. Okay. And before we kind of wrap up for today, we are good in the time. We might even be able to, I know this is a massive amount of value, but I also value your time and I want you to go out and execute. I have not homework, but I have some implementation step that we are going to do. But first, I'm going to share the 50 ways of filling your event. So I hope the link is gonna work now. We have so much tech issues, so there is the link. And don't pick 50. It's gonna be exhausting. No one can do 50 lead generation strategies. Pick three, master them. I use social media marketing. I use email marketing. I do LinkedIn and Facebook events. I do direct message invites. That is the biggest strategies that I use. And then I use long-term strategies. So I use speaking gigs. I'm in a lot of summits. So yes. Oh wow. So yeah, I've been in a lot of summits. 2023. That is awesome. That is amazing that you remember. Yeah, yeah. I was speaking about events back then as well. So that is amazing. Exactly. I've been in a lot of them. I'm invited to so many summits that I need to say no. I need to be a little bit picky because they are amazing long-term strategy, but they also have a promotion window that needs to fit us as well. But podcasts is something that you can do. It's a more long-term strategy, but it also helps you grow an audience, right? Come across new people. So absolutely. So in that guide, oh, thank you, Kim. So Kim is saying the link is working. Great. Thank you so much, Kim. Nice to have you here checking the links with this tech meltdown. I really hope that I can get this recording uploaded as well. Anyway, so just pick three, four strategies. It's way better to master them. You're going to see that when you move away from moving too much and kind of do less, and you do them with intention and run the reps of them and build mastery, that is what's going to shift. Okay, it's going to be so much easier when you do that. Okay, so what we are going to do, I know that lead generation and building out this runway is people's biggest struggle, right? And it's a lot of mindset things. There is a lot of how do I build out the visibility? What am I going to do? What am I going to post? How am I going to post it? How do I engage with people? How do I find my people? How do I find a bigger audience, come across new people? How do I connect with people that do what I do without feeling strange? So a lot of stuff coming up when we talk about visibility. And then when we talk about lead generation, there is a lot of things about the content. And even if we teach all of this inside the launch lab, what we are going to do, what we can do, so this we can do. So the launch lab is a membership with no contract. So it's a monthly membership where you are going to master running virtual events. Okay. I know that this is a huge thing that hold a lot of people back, both mindset wise, but also energetic and technical and strategy wise. So let's do what are we gonna call it? Boot camp. Uh, Event Runway Boot Camp. That was not a good word, but then you understand what it is because you have listened to me. Okay. Let's run it. We need to, so the ones that joins, now get us confusing. So the ones that joins now, before tomorrow, when we go live for session number 2, we're going to do a poll when we are going to host it. But let's say that we host it within the first month then. So somewhere between, I think November 1st or 3rd or something is a Monday. Not sure, but somewhere around November, in a couple of weeks. So we have a couple of weeks inside the launch lab to do some work, and then we run this boot camp. We meet for maybe 2 hours, 1 hour, and we dig right into the runway together in a small group live. Okay, so somewhere between the 3rd-ish, 4 to 14th, right? So within the first month. That is my promise to you. That is what we're going to do. So it's going to be for the ones that joins before tomorrow when we go live. Okay. My lead, what did I call it? Event Runway Bootcamp. Okay. Yeah, Event Runway Bootcamp. Okay. So that is the bonus. I'm going to share the link in a moment. Absolutely. And the Launch Lab, as I said, is a membership. And inside you follow a very clear path that connects directly to everything that we talk about today. So the full path is depending on how, when and how you want to run your event, but it goes through step by step clarity and messaging, because that is key. As I said, it's key. Second thing is the live selling framework and presentation design. It's the landing pages, the topic, the title, the bullets, what you're going to teach, all those kind of things, and creating what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So that is tomorrow. So let's not dig into that. It's the entire event in itself. Then it goes into lead generation, creating your visibility, create the week and visibility content, how you're going to do it, and the lead generation content, the lead generation strategy and things like that, hand out invitations. With that is the landing page and so on, okay? Then how to sell live, okay? How do you sell live without feeling awkward, pitchy, slimy, sleazy? Ooh, energy shift, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to dig more deep into that. And then what I said before is that if you don't grow an audience, you will run out of people to invite. So then you're going to grow an audience as well. Inside the Launch Lab, and now, unfortunately, but I'm going to do this tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to open so you can see this path that I'm talking about, how simple it is, because I have built this so you can take this with you into your offers. I have built step by step with hyperlinks. So even if it's a comprehensive membership with a lot of content, you don't need to look for anything or follow modules or things like that. You go into your path and you do it with a drop down menu, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's hyperlinked to open just that training. So it's completely step by step, no overwhelm, no unstructured stuff whatsoever. Okay, and I can't show you because System IO is down, but I can show you tomorrow. Then I'm going to show you. And let's say you want to grow an audience first. There is a path. We're not going to grow an audience for 6 months. You're going to grow your audience at the same time you do your event. But it might be that some of you feel that you want to grow your audience for a couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks, before you start creating your event. You're going to follow the audience growth path. It's a step by step how you're going to do what you're going to do, each and single step by step. Okay? Then it might be that you want to launch your event now before Christmas. Then you want to create and execute on the same time because we only have like 1.5 month-ish left, right? And that is a path to do that. It's kind of a quick launch path. So what you do is that you create what you're going to execute the next week. So this week, for an example, I might create my visibility content. Next week, I go out and do visibility boosting while I create lead generation that is going to come after that. There is a path for that, step by step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. And then we have the ones that might feel like, okay, I am going to kind of grow my audience, but I'm going to launch after New Year. So I'm going to build my entire event, everything first, and then I'm going to do it. Then you can follow another kind of framework because then you don't going to execute at the same time with the things that you created the last week. So there are 3 paths. And what we do now, this is founder members, because what I have seen is that a lot of people need this, but the programs is usually either 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and not all people can commit to that. And I understand that, and I want to help more people. So the last 2 months, I have created this membership. Okay, so it's available for everyone. It's available for everyone. It has no contract. If you join and you don't like it, you are welcome to cancel, right? You can come in for a month, then you can cancel if it's not for you. I can promise you, you're not going to want to do that because the energy is amazing. The energy is so amazing inside that you do not want to leave. but you can. You don't want to, but you can. Okay? You're not gonna want to, no, but you can, okay? So that is what I have created. So we're going to start on Monday. So you need, I'm going to close the doors on Sunday because on Monday we're going to run a kickoff. It's the only kickoff this membership ever is going to have, because when we relaunch this after the founding members, the investment is going to go up, first of all, but there will be no kickoff because people can then join kind of continuously, right? At a higher investment. In that call, we together is going to decide which path you are going to take. Are you going to start growing an audience? Are you going to run it at the same time? Are you going to launch next year? What are you going to do? Because this is going to be different for everyone. So in that call, I'm going to show you the entire path. I can't show you now. So I'm going to show you the entire path, and you're going to decide together with me live what you're going to do. So you know exactly where you start and what to do and when. So we stop wasting more time. How many of you have bought programs and it's just so complex that you don't even know where to start and when, and you are all over the place and it doesn't give you the result? I strongly believe in step by step when you create something, because it's going to flow so much better. It's going to be so much easier to actually focus on the things that matters at the moment, and not things that gonna matter 2 months from now. All right. So tomorrow I'm gonna share it, right? So the membership is also have what do you say, bi-weekly. So every second week we have a Q. I don't want to call it Q&A because it's more implementation Q&A strategy calls combined. And we run small groups. So if there will be a lot of people, I'm going to make sure that we start splitting or maybe on different time zones, because I want everyone to be able to get the help that they need. I am in it to pivot and meet the need of you, the urgent need that you have, right? So if we notice that the group becomes too big, I am going to start pivoting. You're going to be grandfathered the investment. So when I increase the investment on Monday, because I'm going to do that, because this is only for founding members that can get this low investment. On Monday, it's going to be higher, but you are grandfathered that investment. Okay. And then you get that boot camp within the first month. I don't even remember the boot camp of the launch runway boot camp, event runway boot camp. It's also, well, I need to rename it. I can't even say it. You are going to get that within the first month. Okay. So the investment is only $145 per month. And with that low investment and with my help, with my support and my accountability, do you believe that when you run your event are going to get a return of investment on that? Of course. It's a no-brainer. Of course you're going to get that. Okay. And you decide how fast you're going to run. You decide how long you want to be with us. You decide. You are not, I don't have an annual plan. I'm not going to lock you in for a year. It's monthly, and you decide how long you want to stay with us. I can promise you want to stay a long time, because it's amazing. You have Josephine, she's not here, but you have her as well. She's an expert in helping people building scalable offers and LinkedIn. So you're going to get her as well inside as a coach. So it's both me and Josephine for $145 per month, 2 calls. And this is what we do. If you go to my Facebook, so I can share the link. So the link is in the comments. So click on the link. I hope it works. But that is why we have the bonus up until tomorrow with the boot camp. So, but what I wanted to say is that if you go to my Facebook and you start scrolling, you are going to see something I call the client spotlight. We hosted this for the cohort in the Launch Academy. And what we do then is that we promote your virtual events to our audience. Okay. And that is something you are going to be able to participate, but we haven't planned one until the next quarter, like in February, March, right? We do one each quarter. But if we now have some people joining that create either registration pages, landing pages, or a wait list for your upcoming event that you're going to host maybe next year, let's run a holiday client spotlight for you. We have thousands and thousands of views. It's not after to get you instant signups, right? It's to create more visibility, getting your name out there. Okay. My audience is about 250,000 people, including a group that I can post in, my own 17,000 members Facebook group, my Facebook audience, my LinkedIn audience, my Instagram audience, Josephine's LinkedIn audience, Josephine's email list, my email list, and my email list is 10,000 people. Imagine what that could do for your business. So that is a promise. We run it. So we need to run it at, let's say, beginning of November. So maybe the first 6th, 7th, 8th, somewhere there. Let's run it that week. It might be for, I don't know what the date is on the Monday, Tuesday. We usually run it Wednesday, Thursday, because we have way more visibility or views those 2 days. So we usually run it. So if you go to my Facebook, you scroll down a little bit, you're going to find individual posts of our client that is now exiting this year's Launch Academy. But the Launch Lab is, as I said, you're not locked in. It's a membership. We run the kickoff call on Monday. On Monday, I increased the investment. It's not going to be 145 anymore. It's just this time. So click on the link, come and join us. And then tomorrow, I'm going to show you how it looks inside the path, the ways. Since it's down, I can't show you how it looks like now. So the link is in the comment section. And if you feel that already now you feel the momentum and you want to keep building, come and join us, okay? So I have a little implementation step I want you to do tomorrow. So for tomorrow, we're going to talk about the content, how to create sales-driven content, decision-making content, move people over that bridge that we talked about, that is going to be your event, into your offer. So we're going to talk about that content. We're also going to talk about how do we actually sell in a live event, because it's a lot of energetic when it comes to selling live in a virtual event, right? Low energy or shift in energy is going to have a low conversion, okay? But what we're also going to do some numbers so you can set up more of a goal and see what is possible for you. So I want you to decide what you're going to sell and what is that investment on that offer. And then you take the goal that you wrote down in the beginning of this session and you look in how many people do I need to close to hit that goal in this offer, because your event is going to sell this offer. So write down the offer, write down the goal, and then you think about what type of event would you like to do? Would you like to do a webinar, masterclass, 2-day, 3-day, 5-day? And then you ask yourself, would my audience want to join that type of event? We're going to talk a little bit more about it tomorrow, but I want you to kind of think about it. And then I want you to write down your perfect participant. And what I mean with that is that I want you to do a list. I want you to do a list of your dream clients' problems, struggles, frustrations, fears, mindset blocks, those kind of things, where they are today. I want you to write down the word that they actually describe it to you. If they say, I want to earn 10K per month, and you feel, oh, I don't like the 10K per month, you should write 10K per month, because that is how they describe what they want for you, right? So you're going to list all their dreams, all their problems, struggles, frustration, fears, and then you're going to list the dreams, desired, and wanted result. Because there is one thing to get the result, 10K per month, but what are the dreams and desires when they hit that goal? That is a more sometimes an energetic part, or something they see themselves in the future. That is your perfect participant. And that is the start to get clarity in your messaging, to get the right people inside of your event. So do that to tomorrow. Come prepared. It's going to be, actually, we did good today, didn't we? 1 hour, 16 minutes-ish. But I know if I would have been able to open the page, we would be here for another 5 minutes at least. But I value your time. And we have some questions regarding sales. So I'm going to come back to those tomorrow. As you see, I cover so much and I try to go into details without overwhelm, so you don't feel that almost that you need to ask any questions. But the sales questions we're going to take tomorrow. Okay, we have some questions in the chat regarding how do I sell, how do I know the pricing and things like that. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Okay, so do the homework, do the implementation steps. I like to implement. Click on the link to the launch lab. Come and join us. Grab this amazing opportunity. Okay, it's going to be a massive amount of, if you close one client out of this, the first month or the second month, let's say you do it in the second month, then you have invested $290 and you close one client, 2 clients, 10 clients. Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it to just be in the client spotlight? Right? It's an amazing opportunity. Don't kind of skip it. Okay, so click on the link, check it out. Join tomorrow, be on time, because I'm going to jump right into the content. We have no time to waste. We have waited and wasted too much time. We're not going to do that anymore. I don't build event to waste your time. I built event to teach you and lead you, to show you what's possible, and to make sure that you understand what you did in the past, why that didn't work, and what you want to do instead to hit your goals. And we talked a lot about it today. Thank you. Yes. So I'm so glad it resonates. This was amazing. So thank you so much. How cute of you. Oh, thank you. You're so kind. Thank you. So amazing to see you all from all over the world. So make sure, do your implementation steps, and then I will see you live tomorrow at 12 p.m. So 12 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, so the kickoff call on Monday is going to be the same time as this, 12 p.m. Eastern time, and that is going to be 6 p.m. Central European time. Okay, that is recorded. We run that. So and the Q&A implementation calls is going to be the same time. If you are watching the replay of this and you are based in Australia, because then I hope that you're asleep at the moment. If you are not and you're watching this live, kudos for the commitment, absolutely. But if you are and you join, we make sure that we meet your needs, because we have clients that are in Australia. So we usually run one in my morning. So when we have changed the clock, so now it's a mess, but when we have changed the clock at the last week in October, it's going to be 7 p.m. Australian daytime, Eastern daytime. So Eastern daytime, 7 p.m. Yeah. So if you watch this on the replay and you're from that part of the world. So I meet your need, and that is what I'm here for. I am not here to say that you should be up in the middle of the night. If you don't, we make sure that we cover all the things, okay? Don't worry about that. So thank you so much for today. It was amazing. And then I will see you tomorrow. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much. So nice, nice of you. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. See you tomorrow. So take care, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.